Good afternoon, Professor Pavia, my classmates. My name is Kendall Mon. In our group, we have Brian Rowley, David Lill, and Noman Khan. Today, we're going to be talking about marketing through a virtual test market. A virtual test market refers to a method where companies can run tests through a computer simulation of consumers, companies, products, and markets in order to obtain data that's vital to a business without having to disclose new strategies or products to the public. Kind of in a nutshell, it's basically a computerized software system that a company can place their product into and have it be tested as if it were actually in a real-life market with real-life consumers. Marketing research, kind of as we know, or at least is how I know it, it's a system where a company has an idea, they build the idea into a product, they take that product and they place it into a highly external validity test market where it's out there for this market to use, to buy, to experiment with, and then they research it and gather the data and do what the data tells them. From that, they're able to say, yep, we're going to launch it, or nope, we're not going to launch it, or yes, we need to tweak this, no, we don't need to tweak that. Now, the issue with that is by doing so, it costs millions of dollars to do that. By the time the product hits the store or the test market, it can take anywhere from 30 to 60 days, if not longer, to get that product up on the shelves. The other thing is the competitors, I'm sure that they if they're smart, they know where these test markets are, and they probably are doing everything they can to either copy ideas before the product even gets launched. So kind of how this virtual test market is done, it's a multi-agent system. It's a computerized system that acts as a market where multiple interacting intelligent AI agents are working together to provide data about this experiment. Environments are set up with these artificial users to stimulate market behavior for companies, product launches, and things like that. Below, you can kind of see a graph. This is kind of it showing it going into the system, going through, and then coming back out with results. A company will launch a product into this virtual test market, and these users are allowed to interact with the product. They can even purchase the product without an actual physical product that's offered in a real-world marketplace. So it's really a way for a company to launch their product, have these AI users interact with their product, test their products, buy their product without actually ever having the product out in a real-life market. The coolest thing is the data that is able to be gathered and collected by using this virtual test market. So first off, the data will collect really anything you want it to, but the main points is the intent of the purchase, why your product was purchased, the product niche, the targets, or the customer targets, the targets that the software uses to buy the products, to use the products. It also will do product price points. Was your product overpriced, underpriced? Was it priced the perfect amount? And also it will forecast. It'll give you a report saying, based off of what we gathered, if your product gets launched in this type of market, you can expect this over the next 3, 6, or 12 months, which is kind of cool, or however long you need it to be. The craziest thing is, although this is something that doesn't have to do anything with the real market, it's not launched in a real market, it's over a computer market, the accuracy between the results that you gather off of a virtual test market compared to the real life market is about a 10% difference in accuracy, which is remarkable. So the reason why this method is used is virtual test markets are often used to give product managers or business owners or whoever's looking for the data an opportunity to test these new concepts without actually having to incur manufacturing fees, advertising costs, alerting competitors, and also it's a way for them to test the popularity of a product. So these virtual test markets can also allow product managers the ability to make super small changes to their product. You look at it, if they're doing a real life experiment, by the time that they want to make one small change, they would have to discontinue the product that's already out there, build it into the new inventory, and then relaunch the product. It takes obviously a long time. So being able to do this, being able to run it through a virtual test market, it allows the researcher the ability to make a small logo adjustment, texture adjustment, color to their product, and see how the market reacts to it. They can also use this to upload newer products quickly into the market and see how they're able to gather the data from it. The third thing is, obviously, as we've talked about multiple times, is the data that comes back is quick. As soon as it goes in, you can start gathering data. And then the other big popular thing with this is the flexibility with placement of the project. A couple real life examples. The first one is Levi Strauss. So Levi decided that they were going to run a marketing campaign through a virtual test market, and they were going to use jeans and also jean jacket. What they got back is they realized that most people that were buying their products were club goers. And it's ironic, and I don't know if this is the reason why, but if you look at their newer advertising campaign, a lot of it has to do with dancers in clubs. You don't know what I'm talking about, go look it up. They also realized they gathered the life expectancy of a Levi's, according to the data they got, was 97 hours. They also gathered that people that purchased their jeans spent 75% more time socializing in clubs, instant message, and chatting with friends. The data also shows that 70% of purchasers were actually women. So kind of something cool. I'm sure that they didn't spend nearly as much getting this research. They did it through virtual test market and were able to gather some really cool statistics. Another big company that used this was Nike. Nike used this for some Air Maxes that they were getting ready to launch. They decided to use it through a virtual test market. They were able to gather a lot of great data that they implemented into the actual launch of their shoes. Another one is the shipping containers. Before shipping containers were made into houses, a company called Honomobu decided to test the concept of building a shipping container into a home. So they put them into this virtual test market, and it became insanely popular. And because of that, they make them today. They have a very large business, very successful business because of it. So application. But doing this, it allows marketers, gives marketers the utilization to test in multiple geographical locations. Virtual testing can be used for individuals that don't have much time. We learned from this class that marketing research takes a very long time to get the data. When you do get the data, a lot of times the market is already shifted into a different market by the time we gather our data. So this is a way that a market researcher can place their product into the computerized market, and then gather data wherever they are worldwide just off of their computer. And as we learned, like I said, it's a quick process. A couple of caveats and warnings. It's hard to replicate depending on the size of the market. The biggest one is probably competition. Every article, every research paper we read, it talked about competition, the potential of someone stealing their idea. Again, it's a company that comes and puts their product into the virtual test market, and it gives the competitor the advantage to see their product before it's even created. So before they even have a bunch of inventory made, it allows the competitor the ability to see their product. And although it is believed that the cost of this is overall a lot cheaper, there's still a cost associated with putting the product into the software and paying to keep it up and to make changes and things like that. A couple ethical issues. Throughout everything that we saw and read, the biggest thing was the invasion of privacy. It's you're passing over a computerized software system the confidential blueprints to your product. And then you're asking them to test it as if it was a real life market. The deceptive practices to gather all information of consumer and users. Another one that was kind of interesting is the virtual marketing markets are created from the users who build and upkeep the software. So the data might be skewed or a little inaccurate toward how that builder sees fit. So people kind of say, hey, that's unethical. You gave me this data because that's the way that you saw it. And we paid you a premium price to get the actual data. So in summary, virtual test markets allow marketers to gather quick data, test new concepts, avoid these big learning fees to make adjustments to every product. Because marketing is very expensive and it's always an evolving market like we talked about, many large companies have utilized virtual test markets, although running a marketing experiment through virtual tests may not be entirely accurate, about like we talked about, that 10% accuracy difference, and at least will point a company in the right direction, and it kind of adds another tool in their marketing campaign. So after evaluating this whole entire thing, we believe that this is only the beginning of a really big marketing era. these are references that we found that we used. We got a lot of our data from there. And so yeah, we hope you enjoyed our presentation. We hope you have a wonderful night. Thanks for listening.